So today we're going to flip one of your negative beliefs, but the first thing we need to do is figure out which belief it is we're going to work with. What would you like? What is it you want that you haven't quite got yet? What is it you want? Not what are you trying to fix? What is it you want? So as an example, if you want to relieve anxiety, what you want is confidence. Okay, so what would you like? That's the first question. The second is, what will having that do for you? What will having that do for you? The third question is, what is it like right now? So you have what you want. What will having that do for you? And what is it like now? So this is where we look at the comparison, okay? What's your experience emotionally when you think about that? What does that bring up for you? How does that make you feel? And what might someone believe to have that experience? So now we're getting into the beliefs, all right? So we've got your point B that you want to get to. You're at point A, you want to get to point B. There's something here stopping you. What might someone have to believe to have that barrier there? Okay. So now we're digging underneath. What would someone have to believe to have that barrier there? And then ask again, what would someone have to believe to think that? Okay? So if you need to, you can come back and listen to the questions and write them down and pause the video, do whatever you need to do, all right? So they're the questions we're going to ask to uncover the belief we're going to work with today. When we do this, we find the root cause and we can release that. We can flip that and make it a positive. So once you've done those steps, I want to ask you, is it all right with your unconscious for you to release this today and for you to totally be aware of it? Because if you're not ready, it's not going to work, is it? So make sure this is something you're ready to shift. So you've got the root cause of this problem. And think about the event where that might have occurred. The first time that showed up for you. Have a think about that. And if you were to know, like the first thing that comes into your mind is the right answer, okay? If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth? First thing that pops in your mind. That's the answer. Because we're going to travel down the timeline to where it happened. So if it was after your birth, how old were you? If it was during your birth or during the pregnancy, how many months pregnant was your mum? If it's before that, how many years before? So we know where we're traveling along our timeline. Okay, so now I'm going to take you on a little journey. So get comfortable, close your eyes. I want you to go ahead and float up above your timeline and turn towards your past. So just imagine you're floating up and you're looking back at your past. And now float all the way back to just before the decision, right down in the event where you were still deciding, before you decided you weren't good enough or whatever it is that's come up for you. Float all the way back to just before the decision, and you may see the event, or you may just know you were there and see nothing. Whatever it is, it's all good. It's just perfect either way. As long as you're just before the event, back when you were still deciding. And now ask your unconscious to simply notice how many more options are available. Notice what else you could have decided. There's lots of other things you could have decided. What else could you have decided? Good, bad, in between. And then go ahead and pick one which will give you a better result. Whatever that looks like in your words. What's a better decision? What's a better belief to have? And And now float up above the event, before the event, looking towards now. And from this place, make your new decision. Go ahead and decide on the new option, the one you hadn't noticed was a better way until right now. Good. Now take that new decision with you all the way back to now. Only as quickly as you can, stop and notice 3 events along the way. Reevaluate themselves in light of your new decision. So you're traveling along your timeline and look at other places where you had that and replace it with a new, better decision. Notice what changes from then all the way back to now. That's right. Good. Now continue to come all the way back to now with your new decision. When you get back to now with your new decision, go ahead and come back down, back into the room. When you're here, you can open your eyes. So I've got a little bit of education around decisions, which I'll take you through quickly. So decisions, the word decision comes from the word decide, which originates from the Latin word meaning to cut off. To make a decision literally means to cut off all other options. A true decision is where all other options, opportunities, and choices are cut off. There's no going back. You then pursue your decided upon choice with vigor and all your might. Change. For change to occur, a decision or a series of decisions must be made. No decision means no action, which means no result. No result means no change. Since in nature everything is either growing or dying, no change essentially equals death. Something or someone will die. Change and decision is essential. Feelings and emotions. The decisions you make are affected by how you feel at any given time. Emotions therefore affect achievement. When we are in an emotional state, we often make different decisions to when we are in a rational state. We make different decisions when we are angry or tired to when we are happy and energized. Making decisions. The decision you make does not have to be right. It just needs to be made. You don't always have the opportunity of ample time to make a decision. And on many occasions, the decision needs to be made with incomplete information. Redecision. At any point in time, we can redecide what an event means in life. That's the power of being a human. Redecision is one of the greatest of personal powers. Changing minds or switching opinions in politics is known as flip-flopping. We can ignore politics, however, as it's rarely a shining example of leadership. Sometimes, after making a decision, we acquire new information, and this can alter our beliefs about the circumstances. In this situation, it is acceptable to change your mind and make a new decision. Every time you say yes to something, you also say no to something else. And every time you say no to something, you also say yes to something else. Life is about saying yes and about saying no to the things that lead us where we want to go. When you say yes to something, think about what you're saying no to. And when you say no, think about what the yes is. Each decision will move us closer or further away from the things that we truly desire. Here's a tip. If you want to say no to something and are finding it challenging, then say yes to something else instead. Find the opposite or focus on what will bring the best result for you. Okay, so now that you've done your negative belief flip, let's test it. Can you remember the event in the past where that old decision you made was when you had limited your options? Go back there now and notice if the decision is still there. You may find that it's been redecided. And once you've done that, I want you to go into the future, out to an unspecified time in the future, which if it had happened in the past, you would have acted differently because of that old decision. Notice what happens now in light of your new decision. Do you have a new decision? And you can come back and watch this recording and do it again. Bye.